Uganda Media Club. Today we've had a successful day in training. We did investigative journalism and some little bit of data journalism.
Pitch a good investigative story.
He's also interested in knowing how to write ground-winning investigative stories.
We start from how do you develop a hypothesis? You know, this idea that you're trying to convince yourself is a story worth doing. Yeah? And then how do you graduate that hypothesis, the story idea, into something that you can pitch to an editor. So you convince yourself that this works, this is a good story idea, and then you do what? You then move towards convincing your editor or a funder that this works. But while we do those sessions, many times we ask people to generate their own ideas, but then we will go through them hypothetically until it's something that possibly pitched. Investigative journalism is a very, very important aspect of journalism because it takes both the reporter or the journalist and the audience into analyzing things and making sense of much more complex issues that we report about. You will find that a lot of the reporting that is done that is not very comprehensive will depend on what one individual said and what another individual responded to what the other individual said, and so it becomes bouncing opinions of one person against the other. But with investigative reporting, you are trying to get to the bottom of why certain things are happening. You're getting to analyze, to understand in depth why certain individuals or or even the environment behaves the way it does.
This program is a flagship program of the DW Academy. It's called Innovators Community Program. It's basically meant to empower rural journalists so that they can be able to improve the quality of journalism and contribute to the growing influence of media around the country.
For sure it is risky and you must take a precaution. I did it, and that story forced me out for almost 2 weeks away from Moyo district. When I was just now taking time and spending live in a hotel. Now, how it came, the threat came, the Monta ran that story. You know the headline, UPD police and high stand and the spotlight over what? Illegal trafficking along Uganda South Sudan border. So, in that aspect, the first person who called me was the bishop.
So we need to first sit down, come up with a clear risk strategies. If this one comes onto my way, how would I lead myself this side? Like he said, in the risk analysis, and you look at the team, who am I going to work with? In case maybe I'm trapped in such a situation. So we need to carry a clear analysis of the risk we are going to go through. Sometimes the risk may even become too much. When there's a passion, no story worth your life. So you should remain alive to tell the story the next day. So we have to do it, unless, if you don't do it, you should not go and do the story. But you should not run away from doing the story.
Yeah. When I do a grant, application and I get a grant, I assume that's my money. So I'll do my project and submit the story. But it's a good thing that even if you've won the grant as an individual writer, submit it to your editors, handle this as a company project other than your own project. Because then you're able to spread the risk. The risk which you would have gotten as an individual journalist gets spread to the entire organization. The whole system helps you to shock absorb.
But this training is meant to empower journalists to look beyond the newsroom, to be more creative and do something that is sustainable, look into media viability, look into the business models, look at media startups so that they can be able to tell the stories, quality stories, but also be able to sustain themselves in the business.
This is my first time attending this kind of training. One thing that I've learned is how to bring on board partners. And when I talk of partners, other journalists in carrying out or conducting investigative stories when it comes to certain topics or issues that you want to look at.
My time at the training, I've gained a lot of skills in regards to pitching of stories, which enhanced on the ideas I already had. Being able to look at better story ideas, how to pitch them better, how to select angles of stories better, and how to do news that appeals more, is more relevant to the communities.
How to write the grand-winning investigative stories. That's what majorly I learned today, and I'm very happy with it. I'm not the passion who came. I'm not like the passion who came before. I've changed in as far as writing investigative stories concerned.
Also, I got to know that there are very many opportunities for journalists which we can apply and learn more. And I also got to learn that I shouldn't fear to do some stories. Like I was sharing with the facilitator about the story I was trying to do, I was trying to do, but I feared because of the way the story was.
This training has been designed in a way that addresses the needs of upcountry journalists, because most of the time we realize there is a gap when it comes to media development initiatives. Most of the work around media freedom, advocacy for media freedom is centered and concentrated in the capital, in Kampala. But this time, together with the DW Academy, we realized that often the rural journalists are ignored, but they are the greatest contributors when it comes to generating citizens' content. And so we decided to specifically target them and to also address the knowledge gap, because most of the people who have received higher learning, higher education, people, they tend to be absorbed and look for greener pastures elsewhere. And yet, upcountry journalism is very important and forms the core. So we think this kind of training will contribute positively to uplifting the standards and improving the quality of journalism.